first, Gaurav?
Yeah.
And let me introduce, before Gaurav introduces, let me introduce Gaurav. So we are here as a facilitator, right? You have met Bree, and you have met me, right? Gaurav has also facilitated these sessions in the past. Now we are re-invited him because that will bring the flavor. So you can see we are the team of 3 facilitators, Bree, Gaurav, and me. So Gaurav, please go ahead.
Hi, Deepak. Hi, everyone. Nice meeting you. And yeah, I just joined here. Like I came to Seattle last year. I moved from California. I was in San Diego, sunny San Diego. So I'll be missing it in the winters. Definitely not now, but in the winters. And I like to do some adventures, go out on trails, mountains, and I recently been to Mount Rainier and last week. So really loved it and try to learn lessons from nature, like what lessons I can learn, meditate on those wisdom rooted in the wild. And yeah, I have 2 kids and live with my wife. So I'm happy here. I'm working for Microsoft again with Deepak. So I'm a part of the AI team. And actually, I sit in the same building where all these things happened yesterday. So fortunately, I didn't go there because somehow I thought I'll just work from home that day. And yeah, I'm very excited and very happy to be with all of you, and I'm looking forward to learn a lot from all of you while having discussions. So thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you,
And
Gaurav. And Gaurav is an author also. He has written a book recently also on what is the title of the book, Gaurav?
discover nature.
Discover nature. So if you guys love the nature, he has integrated the nature with the spirituality very nicely. I haven't read the book, but I have talked to Gaurav, and I know Gaurav is my friend, so I know him a little bit. So yeah, it's a good book, I assume. He just published it. All right. So Jasper, would you like to do a quick intro? You're meeting Priya, Jason, Apurv, Angelina, all for the first time, I assume.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Jasper Bragg. I've been coming to Bhakti Studio for a little over 6 months. And funny origin story of how I started practicing yoga is I was um, away in New Zealand for a semester abroad, and I started going to a Bhakti lounge in the city. And the kirtan leader, his name is Sivananda. If you ever go down to Wellington, amazing place. I just started playing bass guitar for the kirtan down there, and she just so happened to have Ian's number. And when I came back to the States, I hit up Ian, and the rest is history. And it's been really, really amazing to not only keep my musical talents up and running after I exited college, but just to get recharged every week, um, and hoping to get some more wisdom out of this. And slightly unrelated, but I was born in San Diego, so Gaurav, you and I have something in common.
And for Jasper, that he introduced like he's a bass guitarist. Like he most of the time he is at the Bhakti studio performing if he's not busy with his studies, and he's one of the guy who loves to serve. He has that bhakti. Like the creeper inside him. Like as soon as he finishes guitar, he will run. Can I go and serve? And then he'll start serving, literally serving the food, right? So he's there, and he'll stay till the end. He'll keep asking, Deepak, do you have anything more? Anything more? And he's pretty young guy, as you can see. It's 2021. So amazing, wonderful. So you'll appreciate him being here.
For sure.
Thank you so much, Deepak.
All right, Brookel, very good to see you. Thank you for finding the time to join.
Hi, yeah, I'm very happy to be here. I'm just getting home from my class and getting settled in. Oh, I see my video is not showing. Let me see if I can.
Oh, hey.
Ah, yes.
Hey there.
The beautiful Brookel.
Very happy to be with y'all in the virtual flesh. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for reaching out and sharing this Bhagavad-gita group. I love getting to study and read about Krishna. It's such a beautiful thing. Before this last time I went to India, I set a motivation to read the Bhagavad-gita, the whole thing before I went, and it was such an auspicious and beautiful time. So I love getting to be in community, reading and studying a little bit about it. So yeah, happy to be with all of you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Brookel. Thank you very much. And I communicated with Brookel today, like maybe 2 hours ago, and I said that would you like to? And she said, yeah, this time works. so so we are glad she will bring a lot of her own background. So this is the advanced group, right? Module 2, and having the folks to interact with each other, because see, our focus is community, right? We build the community, then we all grow together, right? That's the whole purpose. All right, so maybe yes,
Jason, maybe?
yeah. I think Jason, go ahead. Yeah, just go. Yes, go ahead,
What's
Jason.
happening? Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Jason.
Yeah. Are we just saying hi?
No, just give few lines about you. Just introduce
Ah,
yourself. Yeah.
I split my time between Salt Lake and Seattle and Sedona. Right now I'm in Salt Lake. I'll be back next week. There's an interesting kirtan going on next week. One of my friends from Colombia is in town and we'll be singing if anybody wants to go to the Bloom. I think it's called Bloom Studio. A little community kirtan next Wednesday. I'm flying in just special to be able to go to that to see my friend
Very
from
nice.
Colombia perform. So
All
it'd be good to
right.
see some of you guys there. Maybe Jasper can come play bass.
Good,
If
Jason.
you send me the details, I'll do my best.
All right, Jasper, that'd be cool.
All
That's
right.
it.
And
I'm excited
Angelina,
for
can you
another module.
talk?
Sure thing. Hello, everybody. I'm Angelina Ingari, and I live in Kent. I joined Bhakti, gosh, I don't know, long enough ago to have gone through Module 1 and get to know the studio a little bit. I travel for work and for fun. So you can see I'm actively getting ready to go in the woods and stay there and get lost until I have to come back. I think we're going to be really good friends, you San Diegans and the hikers. So I'm really, really excited. I retreat to San Diego as much as possible in the winter. So we have that San Diego heart in common. But I grew up here and I'm a Kashmir kid, so between Leavenworth and Wenatchee. Spent a lot of time in the woods. I work as a collaborative forestry manager and do a lot of volunteering and hoping to do more volunteering as my busy schedule allows. But I have just totally fallen in love with this community, and I'm really, really blessed and honored to get to know all of you. So thank you.
Yeah, and then for Angelina, she's one of the most regular, right? So, and she just doesn't attend only this session. Even she attends the Living Mantra. Anything she finds, she's there. She even comes to the Bhakti studio, like one of the most regular. And she's busy all the time. She's on the road. I don't know how she does it, but she has some magic. And Suyan, it's so wonderful to see you. I saw that you were joining, and because it is the first time you are using this link, right? You had some trouble joining, correct?
Okay.
My iPad didn't work, so now I have to use my phone.
Okay. Wonderful to see you. See, Jasper is already smiling. That I see familiar faces.
Jasper.
All
Very
right.
nice.
Thank you. Apurv, go ahead, please.
Hi, everyone, my name is Apurv. I've probably joined Bhakti Studio the same time as Angeline did, just a couple months back. I'm originally from India, but I've lived in a few different countries growing up. Moved out to Seattle for my undergrad. So been in the US for around 10 years and in Seattle for almost 5 years now. Yeah, looking forward to getting to know everyone else and learning.
Yeah, and Apurva ask wonderful question. He's one who will ask nice question. There will
Spectacular
nice discussion,
questions.
right? See, like Bree is telling like this.
Spectacular questions.
Yeah, he's a very good intent, like very good listener and like very deep thinker. So yes, definitely. All right, Priya.
So were you at the University of California, San Diego?
I was working there. You're asking me or
Yeah.
Jasper or Angelina? There are so many
No,
people.
you are the San
Yeah.
Diego guy, right?
I think everybody has links rooted in San Diego.
So I'm the director of intellectual property for University of California, San Diego.
Oh,
And
wow.
yes, I work remotely most of the time. I go there once a month. And I actually do not like San Diego. I would not choose San Diego over Seattle.
Oh, what's the reason?
I find it culturally to be very homogenous. I find, unless you're near the border, I find San Diego more or Seattle more interesting.
I see.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I was curious if you were there. No one comes to Seattle from San Diego unless they're coming by way of the university.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know what to say about myself. I'm an engineer, I'm a mathematician, but at heart I'm a philosopher. I have studied philosophy for many years, and and I come to this as a born Hindu, but I also enjoy the conversation and the thought of philosophy because all mathematicians are actually philosophers.
Interesting.
Yes, and she is a athlete. She's like participating in the Iron Man, like and she's training pretty hard, right, Priya?
Yeah, well, yes, but that is one portion of my life. Right now, it's a large portion of my life, but it's only a small portion.
Small portion of her life. All right, and Suen.
Just a minute. So Priya, what you do is intellectual property. I do security and compliance. So our work intersect with each other.
Yeah, and I was an IP attorney for 27 years.
Oh man!
Oh wow!
I am also an IP attorney. I'm a patent attorney.
Right on. I mostly focus on trademarks and entertainment law.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Wow, man! See,
Lots
I'm learning all. Even though I have known you for some time, I don't know all the things you are sharing.
Nice,
All right, Suen.
And she worked for the University of Washington or University of California? What did you say?
California.
I work for University of California, San Diego, the San Diego campus.
Right now, or you did do that?
Right now.
Right now. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I left my private practice 2 years ago.
Right on.
Nice.
So now are you residing in Seattle?
I live in Seattle. I work remotely. I go to San Diego once a month.
Right on.
1 week a month.
Oh, that's not too bad. So my name is Suyin. I've been going to Bhakti Studio for since December. So 8-9 months now, and still learning. I think I'm like an infant. So I'm just starting to read the Bhagavad-gita book. I still have a lot of questions, and I find that this has helped me with just everyday life and trying to find my purpose. And that's that's pretty much it.
Suyen also asked very wonderful questions. So
yeah,
I'm very excited.
I try.
and she's one of the ever since she came to Bhakti Studio, we have seen many people, they come to the Bhakti Studio, they fall in love, but then after that they are not that regular. But then Suen, like almost like just like Jasper. She's there. She's the like a regular, and then she like even serves like all the plants you see in the Bhakti studio. She's the one, she brings it and she cares of it. She knows that we can't do it. So she's amazing, wonderful lady, and she's like even chanting by own, like she's like think 6 or 8 rounds something, and by herself. She's like, she just wants to run very fast, right? She's like, okay, give me more, give me more. So very enthusiastic. My wife just love her, right? So I'm scared, like
We love
she,
Suyan.
yeah. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Bree, finally, maybe you can introduce to all our new folks, and then we'll get started.
Of course. Nice to meet you all. I think I know almost every single one of you. Or I've seen you all in different forums. So my name's Bree. I have been practicing Bhakti for about 4 years now. I'm here really trying to, help the Bhakti studio as much as possible. And they keep inviting me back, so I must be doing something, something right. I have one son, and I'm married, one son. He's in middle school now. And a majority of the time, if you see me doing any service, it's usually around like Bhakti studio, but then also singing. So that's my main thing so far. I'm an artist. I do a lot of art as well. So, here and there, whenever I'm needed. And, very, very happy to be associated with everybody. So, yeah, that's me.
Thank you. And really, Bree, like I've seen, like she picks up. She's like a learner, amazing learner, right? Like she started doing kirtan for singing. She started playing kartal, and then I've heard that she's trying to learn the harmonium. Like she's a learner, and whatever she puts her hand on, she excels in it. She excels in it. Like she's amazing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she
Or
has a beautiful voice. Her voice is
Oh
yes.
so
gosh, please.
Yeah, yeah. She sings with lot of energy, like lot of
She
energy,
sings.
right?
Yeah.
You guys,
Uh,
yeah, definitely don't miss her kirtan. All
somebody
right.
came. Somebody came to me and said, "Who's that girl that sings so nicely?" So they're really
Oh,
impressed by her singing.
thank you. Yeah,
Okay.
I started with this practice, and so that's just one of the many things that I've learned about myself with Bhakti. So happy to help.
All right, Bree. So will you be sharing, Bree, the screen?
I will.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Well.
All right. So can everybody see my screen?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Let me know if you can now.
Okay, it's coming. It's coming up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it
Is
came
it
up.
there?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You can. Yeah. Put in the presentation mode, maybe.
Yes.
Slideshow. Slideshow.
Slideshow on the top,
On the top.
the right.
Yes. Yes.
There we go.
Nice.
Loading.
All
All
right.
right.
So just
Recapping.
quick recapping for all of us. Module 1 we have done. Most of you all have done. Brukel, but Brukel, I think you probably know because you have been reading Bhagavad-gita. So the way we have done it for the folks who are joining this mode for the first time, we are not doing right now the systematic study of Bhagavad-gita. That will come do later. Right now we are going through the concept. We are building the concepts, and that will allow us to see how this knowledge can be used practically. So that's the goal, right? And then this is a building block on which understanding Bhagavad Gita becomes, or any later other books becomes much easier, right? So we started harmonizing body, mind, and spirit through meditation. The pursuit of happiness, we questioned why we want to be happy, what is the thing that's driving consciousness. We explored the science of consciousness. We learned that we are not the body, we are the soul. We went through some of the proofs, logical and scientific proof. Then we talked about the mind, how it can be a friend or a foe. we talked about the topic 5, moods and modes, which is about how there are 3 modes and how it impacts us physically in the way we do the work and how we act, what we eat, all those, how those are governed by the different modes, which is the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. We talked about the law of karma, which is we all talk about it, but do we really understand it or not? So in this, we talked about there are 3 kind of karma: good karma, bad karma, and something called akarma, which doesn't give a good or a bad. And that's where the Bhagavad-gita asks us to lead our life. And that's an art, and that's we'll be learning as we are going through the journey. Topic number 7, we talked about how when we say karma, then it seems that, oh, it is my karma, then it seems my destiny is fixed. Then what is the role of the free will? We said, no, that's not how it is. So we talked about how to triangulate karma with the free will and how it will create the new destiny, right? So we talked about how to triangulate this. And then topic 8 was spiritual evolution. We have learned, we know about the evolution, what we are taught in the school, which is that our body is evolving. What we learn from the spiritual perspective, that this is the soul which is evolving from one body to other body to the as we are growing our consciousness, and then how human body is just like a junction which can take us to our ultimate destination, which is to be free from the cycle of birth and death and be always in a loving relationship with the Supreme, or we can remain over here and go through the different cycle of birth in the 8.4 million different species of life. So that was all the 8 topics what we covered. And the next, yeah.
So
Yeah,
yes,
go ahead now. Now you take over, Bree. Please go ahead.
of course. So since now we're on module 2, our first subject now will be understanding the real problems of life. And so the way, for those who have not been in this forum before, these classes go, we usually have a warm-up question that we ask everybody, just as kind of an icebreaker, but then we'll go through a video that will explain they'll explain each of these topics here. So today we'll talk about the real understanding of the problems of life. And then there will be follow-up questions that will help better understand the subject matter, and then will allow us an avenue to discuss. And that's where we'll have big interactions, lots of discussion, and then Deepak and I will be working with you all on how to tie that into our shastras. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing really quick, make sure that everything is set up. Oh, here we go. Do you see any?
No, it was showing up and then it is not showing up anymore.
Okay, here we go. Let's try it again.
Real quick, I've gotta go. I told Deepak that.
Yeah. We will record it, Jasper, and you can watch the remainder of the recording. Thank you for joining. Jasper goes to work at 4 a.m., so he has to sleep on
Good
time.
to see you, Jasper.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you, Jasper. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night's sleep.
Yeah. Jasper is amazing guy. Amazing. He's
Yes.
like for me, he's like a kid.
Very young.
Yeah, young man. All right. You're.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I
It's not
see the
letting me
screen, but I
share.
don't see the video somehow. So
Bizarre.
yes, can you just try to refresh your browser? If not, then I'll share.
Yes. Stop sharing right now. Okay. I'll refresh for me.
Yeah, just refresh and see that you're able to see the video, and then. So while Bree is joining, so now in module 2, we'll have little we'll make it a little much deeper. So of course we'll go through this format of watching the video, having a short discussion. Our discussion we'll see depending on the time. We'll have to time box it. But then the later half, another 15-20 minutes, we will take you directly to the books. Right, so slowly we'd like to take you to the books like Bhagavad-gita or Srimad Bhagavatam and show you the direct references, right? Whatever you're seeing in the video. So that will allow you to go deeper, and if you like, and that way you can start doing your self-study also. So that is the goal. So we'll be doing that also starting today. Do you want me to do it, Bree?
Yes, it's kicking me
Okay.
out. I think it's
Okay. Maybe some
giving me a
problem.
try.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No worries. No worries. Let me do it.
I hate to tell you guys, but Zoom has a far better product than Teams.
All right. Okay. I didn't
Yeah,
include a sound. Yeah, just I have to include the sound. And sound. Cool.
Understanding the real problems of life. All endeavors made in the field of science to reduce the miseries of mankind and to increase his comforts. A fan is used to reduce the misery of sweating. A grinder is used to avoid the misery of manual grinding. A motorcycle is used to avoid the misery of pedaling. These are simple examples. In a similar way, advances in science, technology, and medicine are aimed at reducing the miseries and, if possible, ending them altogether. But actually, if one analyzes deeply, one understands that these daily problems are simply symptoms of deeper, real problems. Underneath this dazzle, the real problems of life still persist. In our pursuit of happiness, it is imperative to understand the nature of the miseries and problems that we face. What do we mean by a problem? A simple explanation would be, a problem is to get what we do not want and to not get what we want. A problem for a homemaker is dealing with the constant increase in grocery prices. A problem for a student is the constant threat of exams. A problem for an employee is to deal with the increasing demands and stress at work. A problem for a businessman is to deal with the fluctuating economy. Being caught up in the immediate problems of life, we hardly think of the real problems that every one of us have to face in life. However, the purpose of life is to identify and solve the real problems of life. All the petty problems that we face in our day-to-day lives are a symptom of these real problems of life. So, what are the real problems of life? A problem could be considered real if it is common to all. Nobody wants it. Nobody can avoid it. Solving which, all other symptomatic problems are resolved permanently. Simply solving the symptoms may temporarily avoid suffering, but does not solve the problem itself. For example, a person suffering from yellow fever may show several symptoms like fever, muscle pain, loss of appetite, and nausea. If the patient receives medicines that simply treat these symptoms individually, the symptoms may subside for some time, but will reappear because the real problem, yellow fever, is still not cured. However, an expert doctor will identify the real problem by taking note of the symptoms and administering a cure for yellow fever, which will cure the symptoms along with it. The problems that fulfill the above criteria of real problems are explained below. Disease. No one wants any disease. There are so many different kinds of diseases, and medical science is trying to find remedies for them. But medical history shows that by the time science finds a cure for one disease, another, more deadly disease comes up, as has happened in the case of cancer, syphilis, gonorrhea, AIDS, etc. We may cure one disease for some time, but we cannot eradicate all diseases. The pain suffered through disease is a common experience for everyone, and needs no further explanation. Old age. No one wants to get old. A millionaire spent millions of dollars employing several doctors to find out whether he could stop getting old and remain youthful forever. But the doctors realized that even if they were to understand the mechanism of aging, they wouldn't be able to find a solution to reverse it in the millionaire's lifetime. We were all children some years ago. Later, we grow to youth and eventually to old age. The cosmetic industry is flourishing only due to fear of old age. Death. Steve Jobs said, "No one wants to die." Even people who want to go to heaven don't want to die to get there. No one has ever escaped it, because death is very likely the single best invention of life. It's life's change agent. It clears out the old to make way for the new. No one wants death. In the Garuda Purana, one of the ancient Vedic scriptures, it is mentioned that death is extremely painful, and the dying person experiences a pain that is equivalent to 40,000 scorpions biting simultaneously. In nature, we see that even the tiniest creatures display amazing abilities and techniques for escaping death when their lives are threatened. But death is inevitable for all living beings, and everyone has to face it one day, though it is fearsome and painful. Birth. Birth is an extremely painful experience for the living entity. For 9 long months, the human fetus lies cramped within the darkness of the womb, suffering severely, scorched by the mother's gastric fire, continually jolted by sudden movements, and feeling constant pressure from being contained in a small sac which surrounds him in the womb. This tight, constricting packet forces the child's back to arch constantly like a bow. Furthermore, hungry worms in the abdominal cavity torment the child. The child passes stool and urine in the same packet. Such is the misery of birth. Purpose of human form of life. The wisdom of Bhagavad-gita, an ancient text in Bhakti Yoga, says that the goal of human form of life is to perceive the problems of birth, old age, disease, and death, and find out the permanent solution for them. The Gita also states that we are not this temporary body, but the eternal spiritual consciousness. The root cause of all problems is that the eternal conscious, blissful soul identifies itself as the temporary, miserable, material body. The Gita recommends the practice of Bhakti Yoga as the solution that can give the realization of the eternal identity of the consciousness. One may argue, the problems of birth, old age, disease, and death come only once in a while. We can just ignore them and enjoy life for the remaining time. But at every moment, everyone is suffering due to at least one of the following threefold miseries. Miseries caused by one's own mind and body. The body and the mind give rise to innumerable problems. According to World Health Organization statistics, in the year 2000, in America, 19 million youths were suffering from mental-related illness. Every day, 1,200 youths were attempting to commit suicide, and 1/10 of them were successful. Thus, sometimes people are driven to the point of suicide due to mental frustration. In old age, the deteriorating body gives varieties of problems. For example, once a person grows beyond 80 years, generally, he can't even sit or stand without back pain. Miseries caused by other living entities. Even if we have a healthy body and mind, other living beings may inflict miseries upon us. Even if everything is nicely arranged in our life, some other living entity, such as our enemy, boss, colleague, relative, family member or friend, terrorist, or if no one else, then a mosquito or a virus is sure to make our life miserable. Miseries caused by nature, floods, droughts, famines, earthquakes, hurricanes, etc., are devastating calamities imposed upon us through the agency of nature. A volcanic eruption at Pompeii devoured 20,000 people under a 20-foot-high lava layer. The recent tsunami tidal wave disaster swallowed 380,000 lives in a few minutes. Even if these come only occasionally, they wreak havoc whenever they come. And moreover, we are being constantly tormented by the changes in the weather, such as scorching heat, freezing cold, and untimely rains. Can we say that we are not constantly being harassed by these problems? A wise person would wonder, Why should our lives be ridden with the anxiety of facing and tackling one problem after another? I do not want miseries. I do not want unhappiness. Why is it being imposed upon me when I want happiness, when I want peace of mind, when I want bliss? Why is it eluding me? Why am I not able to find happiness? When have I missed it? Where did the formula go wrong? This is the purpose. What is the destination of life? Where am I heading to? Is this all life is meant for? Or is there a life of eternal joy that is never inhabited by sufferings? To inquire into these questions is the purpose of human form of life.
All right. So, considering that today we are running a little bit late, Bree, do you think that we can just directly start with the questions?
Yeah. So the first question that we have, and again, for those who are not familiar with the way that this goes, we tend to ask questions as a way to reflect on the video in which we just heard. So the first question, what are the characteristics of real problems of life? And what are the real problems of life? From the video.
This is pasted in the chat also.
Yes, yes. And so the video said that there were some characteristics of what a real problem is versus a problem that are something that could be considered fixable, right? If you all remember that. The yellow fever example was a really good piece of that. So, you know, you receive some disease or something, small disease, then it's something that can be fixed, whereas there are some problems that cannot be fixed. Do you all remember, or what do you feel about that? Do you feel that all problems are real problems, or do you think that there are some problems that are more predominantly greater and impossible to change, I should say, than others?
I feel like there were some things he called out as problems like aging or giving birth, which I don't see as a problem. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But I mean, I guess it depends on it's a perspective issue, right? What do you see? What do you see as a problem? To me, aging doesn't feel like a problem. It may have felt like a problem when I was 10, right? But also, you know, for given a perspective or where you are in your life, a mosquito bite, one of the things they talked about, right? A mosquito bite probably could be the last thing that you could deal with on that day, right? So I think it's an individual question. It was an interesting concept. So I think the bigger concept was it's something you don't want to happen to you that happens to you, and something you do want doesn't happen, right? Like that was the bigger concept.
Yeah, and in that understanding, so aging doesn't seem to be such a bad thing. A lot of people do accept aging. I think a lot of people, old age is associated with the last problem, which is death, right? And so I think that the four problems that we usually have is what? Birth, death, disease, and old age are those four problems that the video was talking about. And so it's funny because when we're born, we don't remember all the things that we had to go through when we were born, which makes it seem like it's not a traumatic thing. But in the video, it said that like worms were eating you, which is very strange, you know. I don't think that's something that I would want, or if we were in a mother's womb now as an adult, crammed up in a small sack where our stool and our urine are being eaten by worms would be considered miserable. But yeah, an infant is in that, something so helpless is in that, having to suffer that. Could you suffer that? Being cramped in a uterus at the age that we're in a stronger body, and there are worms that are biting you, and you're susceptible to constant movements, and you're in the dark, and you're also susceptible to what your mother is being susceptible to. So if they eat something that's not so good, you're also going to have to deal with the symptoms of that, or the consciousness of your mother. If, there's happiness in there, then you feel that. But if there's not, and there's the stress, you also feel that. You're not able to do anything. In the bodies that we have right now, would that be considered something that is good?
I think it's an impossible question to ask. It's never a place to be. And I don't know, like when I think of the womb, of being in my mother's womb, I think of warmth and love and comfort. And those are the things I think of. I hope my children think of the same thing as well. I just don't think we realize that.
I think that the issue here, like Priya was saying, is truly about perspective, and keeping perspective even when things are challenging or when we view something as a problem. There was a lesson that I took probably about 2 months ago that really stuck with me. Is this thing that you're going through a challenge or problem, or is it a blessing? And the answer was truly both. So yes, through the challenge, through the setback, we have opportunity. We have opportunity for growth and for realization and for strengthening ourselves. And so truly everything, whether you label it as a problem or not, is actually just a blessing in disguise. And that's all about perspective. Can we do that as humans in the moment with emotion? Always feel that way? No, because we're imperfect, right? But the idea that we continue to seek the good, even amongst things that we could call a problem, is what we're all here for. I mean, that's my guess. That's why
I think that's
we
great.
are here.
100%. And it kind of ties back to our last lesson, right? When we were talking about what does it mean to be a human versus an animal, and being born in a human body versus an animal body. Although there are things that the human bodies have and get to do that are different from an animal, it still could be considered something that is like the best, like making the best out of a bad bargain, or it could be a matchless gift, right? And so that's a really good tie into what we were talking about the last time. What about death then? Disease. And so we talked about old age, which, it doesn't seem like that's too bad. Some people can accept, some people can't. Birth, depending on our perspectives. What about death and death and disease? Do you consider that to be a real problem, or?
I think those
We should only be so lucky.
I think those who don't understand death or accept death fear death. That's where the problem comes from, right? Do you fear what that is?
Mhm.
And it's a question that I'm having with my brother. My mother's very sick, and it's a question I'm having with him because I think he truly still fears death, and he fears her death, right? So it's a problem if you have fear surrounding it, and can you let go of the fear? I mean, and I think I think generally I would say that of all of these issues is what can you, what do you see as the road forward? What is the fear that you're seeing, or the anxiety you're facing, and how do you deal with it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of unknown associated with death, which could be why it's associated with such a big problem. But it's very interesting about well, what does death mean then? And so if you had an understanding of death, would that be considered a problem? Would it be something fearful?
Well, for people who has fear of death or fear of old age, how is there like a way that you can learn how to accept what you're going through?
Hmm. Absolutely. There's a way. There's always a way. It's so, I see a trend. There's a lot of there's fear in these unknowns, right? So we don't know as an adult, like I cannot tell you how I felt in my mother's womb, right? I cannot. So I can say, oh, that's a very, wonderful thing. And then I go through life. And, I might get some kind of illness. And then I'm just like, oh, I'm weak, I'm this, I'm that, and I feel distressed because of these things. I'm maybe not able to do some of the activities that I'm used to doing. So maybe I'm like a dancer or something, and I get an illness or an injury, and now I'm distressed because not only am my body is weaker and I'm not feeling so well, but then I'm also not able to do an activity that makes me happy. So I'm distressed, right? And then there is older age. So, body starts breaking down and I'm just like, oh, this is not good. Have I been using my time? Anxiety, and that's also associated more towards where the death is, where if I don't have an understanding of what death is, as Priya said very, very eloquently, then that's also something that causes fear. So how do you get over that is what Suyen is asking, right? How would you be able to understand how to move forward with that? And I want to bring you back to one of our lessons that we had in Module 1, where I explained about being placed in a dark room. If y'all remember that. So if you are placed in a dark room and you're not able to see anything, nothing at all, how would you feel? Right?
Scared.
Scared. It's a scary thing to be placed in a dark room because there's unknown. You can't understand what your senses are supposed to be doing, if you have senses at all. Are you in a room? Are you not in a room? Is the room big? Is the room... All these things cause extreme fear. And so that's the situation spiritually that we are in. We're in a dark room. We don't really know what's going on. We're just going through the motions, and that's kind of forced by material nature. So once you understand who you are, self-realization, when you receive some knowledge of who you are, then it's a lot easier to understand what birth, death, disease, old age is. And if you have realization of I am not this body, I am soul, then you don't have those things. Your body might experience these things. Your body will experience a birth and a death. It might experience an injury, old age, but the soul is an eternal thing, and that's who I am. And so it's different. What do you have, Jason? Do you think what do you think about that? Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah,
Does it
it
sound like
totally
feasible?
rings true for me. Yeah, I like that, and I like the way you're explaining it.
It's not easy. It's not an easy thing.
Mm-hmm. But that it really rings true to me. Yeah, just seems how it is.
Yeah, and if I can add, let's a bit understand the intent of the video and the question here, right? So what it's telling that we all know about the problem, right? We can add, or somebody has a problem with the job, and also what the video addressed, that those are relative problems, right? Problem from, like right now, Microsoft is firing people like anything, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's not a problem for Microsoft or the shareholders, but it's a problem for the employees, right? It's a relative problem. Outside people are happy because the stock is going up. So it's called relative problem. And what then it classified, and what we heard in the video, the definition of real problem. Common to all, no one can avoid it, nobody wants it. right? So based on that, then it identifies total of 7 problems. 4 problem: birth, old age, disease, death. And depending on our circumstances and who we are, our upbringing, we may not fear all the 4. We may fear one, or depending, right? Priya is telling that for her right now, death is means she's okay with the death, and she is even for the old age, she's not too worried, because means right now, see, we are all pretty young. None of us has touched 70-year-old, all right? These are the 4 problems. Then the 3 other problem, the miseries, it quantified as miseries. Misery caused by our own body and mind, misery caused by other other entities, right? And misery caused by the mother nature. And if you just analyze, right? Again, if the flooding is happening somewhere else, it's not a problem for me. If the flooding happens here in Seattle, then it will become a problem for me. If my house burns, it will be a problem for me, but it may not be a problem for somebody living in San Diego, right? So again, these are relative problems. So basically, the intent of the question is to question what is the real problem, and then next it will lead us. Basically, this topic will lead us, if we know the real problem, and as a human, we always inquire and we try to solve the problem, right? Even the temporary problem we try to solve, how to solve these real problem of life. That's the inquiry begins, right? That's the spiritual journey. So that is the intent of the question, right? Even if we don't feel that, oh, old age is not a problem for me.
Well, and then that's a really good caveat, because it also says that there is an aim for the human form of life. So that's the next question. What is the aim for the human form of life that's relative to these problems? Does anybody remember what the video says? Deepak really spoke on it just now too, just as a reminder. And so in our last module, we talked about what is the difference between a human body and an animal body. Does anybody remember that conversation?
A little bit.
So animals can do certain things in their lives, and then humans can do certain things in their lives that are substantially different than any other living entity.
As humans, we can make like fully conscious decisions, so we get karma and not karma. In animals, it's more just instinctual.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yep.
don't gather up karma. It's a less risky but less rewarding affair, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Animals are controlled by the material nature. They don't have the ability to make decisions or inquire about themselves. They don't get to look in the mirror one day and say, this life is not, I don't deserve this life. I don't deserve the life of a squirrel. I'm going to be a life of, a star. They don't get that boon. But a human has the options of inquiry. So a human can reflect, who am I? Why am I going through these unfortunate situations? What can I do in order to put myself in a better situation? How can I be happy? And so with these ways, this gift that we have of inquiry, then the aim for the human form of life is what? Do you all remember?
To break free from the circle of life and death.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. So the aim of human life is to inquire and try to understand how to break free from the cycle of birth and death. And so the cycle of birth and death means, these karmic reactions that cause us, the soul, to leave one body and go to another body, to enjoy and or be distressed based off of whatever karmic reactions we have, right? And so if we do not inquire about how to escape that, or do we not inquire about who we are, then our actions will lead us to another body, which will allow us to enjoy the reactions of our karma and or be distressed based off of our reactions to our karma. And so that's the cycle of birth and death. So birth and death means you're leaving one body, death, and going into another body, birth. You're just doing that over and over and over and over again in all these different types of bodies. Do you remember how many bodies we learned about that exist in the creation? You remember how many bodies those are?
Do you mean
It's
like the 400,000 species of humans?
So that's a very minimum amount of living entities there are, but that's the human. That's how many human
species, right?
Yeah, forms.
There's like
8
8.5 billion or something.
Yeah. So we're trapped in the cycle of going in and out of those bodies. 8.4 million types of bodies that we go in and out of based off of our karmic reactions. And out of all of that, out of 8,400,000 of them are human forms of life, which will allow us to be able to have the ability to inquire, who am I and how do I get out of this situation? So as Priya said, right, when it comes to what birth means, that could be seen as a gift, right? That's not, that's an amazing opportunity to escape the cycle of birth and death, even though the act of birth might not be as pleasant. It will, it will bring forth a gift. What do you think the aim of human form of life is? Just in general.
Just do good. Be a better version of who you are than yesterday.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's that's a good question.
Well, and it's good that, it's good to inquire, right? We're stuck in those everyday, things that are making us think of, oh, I'm sorry. Can somebody mute? I think there is.
Yeah, I took care.
Sorry. So as a human body, we get all these opportunities to do all these activities that make us forget to inquire about what is the aim of life. We're stuck in survival mode. We're doing this and that to survive, pay rent and try to do everything. Yes, Angeli?
Well, yeah, so you beg the question, right? What's the aim? And in my mind, the aim is to learn, to grow, to love one another and serve.
Mm-hmm. It's a good aim. You see? But an animal doesn't get to have that choice. They don't actually get to realize that there's an aim to their forms of life. They're strictly here by nature. So nature controls them. They go by their instincts and their nature. There's no form of inquiry that is equal to the ability that a human will be able to do, to think about even. It's a huge blessing to even, consider what is the aim of human life. And so it's really important to think about that sometimes. And then I believe that once you think about the importance of the aim of life, then your activities will be based off of that, and you'll have a little bit more happiness and satisfaction in your hearts. So I'm going to go with the last question before I hand it back to Deepak. And so How do we align our immediate goals with our ultimate aim of life, right? So, as I said, very important to know or to at least meditate on what is the aim of life, right? So then you can align your goals and then your activities based off of what you're believing your aim of life is will reflect, what you're trying to do. So, an example, my aim of life, before I ask anybody else to share, my aim of life is to be a servant to Krishna. That's my aim. I'm a servant. And so my activities are based around that aim of life. I go and I, you know, speak about Krishna here. I go and I give my offerings of whatever I can do there. I'm here. These are activities in which align with my focused goal. Prior to that, though, before I got to really inquire about my aim of life, I was doing things that I thought would make people happy. I was working very hard trying to make a lot of money, trying to juggle a million things, you know, at one time and finding myself frustrated because, maybe my intentions did not align with the outcomes that I was receiving, or, there was just, something that wasn't really there. But when I align my goal and my aim of life, I'm not doing anything different. There's nothing different about my life outside of my consciousness. And there's a lot more satisfaction. So with that, when you align your goals with your aim of life, then you'll find that there's a lot more satisfaction. And then my only addition would be, a lot of self-realization will come with practice so that you can understand your aim of life better and align your activities that way.
Quick
Are there
question.
any? Yeah.
So, aim of life and purpose of life, is that the same?
So the aim of life from the video was, what is the purpose? Yes. So when they were asking like, oh, what is the aim of life? The video said that the aim of life is to inquire about how to escape from the cycle of birth and death. That's a lot of information that comes with just that small statement, but it is to escape, to realize, oh, I shouldn't be here. I should be somewhere else that's better, that I don't have to deal with these issues that I'm dealing with in this type of world.
Yeah, that's an escape.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So with
That's
that, yeah.
Oh, that's a deep question because I'm still trying to figure out what is my purpose of life.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the whole world, and to be completely fortunate to even have time to consider it, is a lot more fortunate than some people who don't have, they have to work here and there. Maybe they have 2 or 3 jobs, right? Where they don't even get a chance to sit down and hear anything like, oh, I should be considering this, because they're having to do all of these things. And so, I was being only God. That's a very nice quote, Angeline. But you know what I mean? So don't be hard. That's the question of your birth. What is the purpose? Why am I here? Everybody's searching for that. Everybody. And that's why everybody's doing all these different fields of activities. That's why, because they're all searching for, who am I? That's really the basis of it. Who am I? And the reason why we're in this situation is because we don't know who we are. And so, but once we do go onto the path of self-realization, then a lot of our activities will follow more positively to get us in a better situation, whatever that may be.
I think I'm getting there because I pray every night to Krishna, asking him to hold my hand and guide me to where he wants me to be.
Me too. Please help me. But These was really good. I mean, it's something to consider, regardless of wherever you feel that you are and whatever perception or perspective you're coming from. You know, who am I? That's a very good question. And then when you find out who you are, then these 4 topics might not be so scary. They might, I mean, you'll have to still deal with them like everybody else, but they might not be so scary because there'll be knowledge that's there. Seeing the divinity and other.
I'm not scared. I'm just excited to learn.
You are here with us on a beautiful path of discovery, right here where you're meant to be. Not everyone can see it in that way. Seeing the divinity in others is a part of a scriptural journey. Yes, not everyone can see it that way. Absolutely. You want to, and then I'm going to give it to Deepak. But do you want to expand on that? Proof? Oh, that was you, Deepak. Never mind. Do you want to expand on that, Deepak? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was responding to Angelina. She said that, right? She sees the fellow beings as like the part of the service to God, right? And I was explaining what the connection is, that is the part of the spiritual journey, right? Because many times we see other people as competitor or things like that. And even we do something for them, we do it that I like it, it's our satisfaction. But when we start seeing the divinity in the other people, right, we see that we have the soul, that person also has a soul. That's the elevation, right? That's the elevation. So that's what I was trying to say, that not everyone can see that way, but Angelina can see because she's so spiritually inclined and she sees the world with that vision.
It's a very rare vision to have, too.
Yes.
It's not easy.
Yes. It's not easy.
As you said, you did say that, but not everybody can see it.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I skipped one of the questions just because of our time, but just to tie it all together, if you would like, Deepak.
Go ahead.
No, it's all.
Oh, okay. You're telling. Okay,
Yeah.
of course. Yes. So I'll take you to the second part, and today we'll go a little longer because today we spent some time in introduction. Hopefully, otherwise we will be able to finish by 8:45. So if you can stay a little longer, that will be great. So we should be able to finish by 8:50, 8:55, I assume. First, I would like to welcome Alexander. Hello, Alexander.
Hey, Alexander, say hi.
It might be.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Alexander, do you know Jason Alexander? Is your friend?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Not that I know of.
Okay. I thought you know everybody, so.
I did want to ask if we have friends that are interesting to join, if they watch all previous 8 videos, can they join?
Yeah, and definitely. And then we will start even the module 1 also. So as people are interested, we will get them started in module 1 also, right? And if somebody would like to, they would like to watch and then try to join this, yes, means they because they like Jason, they can do that.
Good to know.
All right, of course. So I'll take you to the second part of this, and let me share my screen. I hope you can see my screen, everybody.
Yes.
Yep.
It's good.
Yes. So see, in the second part, as I told you, right, I would like to walk you through some of the related references directly from the Bhagavad-gita and other books also as we progress. And the goal is to create that understanding that whatever is being talked in these videos are backed up with reality, with the real thing. In terms of course, we talk about the practicality, but then we would like to connect what the books of wisdoms are saying, so that we generate more trust and we can go deeper as we progress on this path. Okay, so the first thing, Bhagavad Gita. I wanted to let me make it a little smaller so that you can see it. We will be referring to, for all practical purpose, we'll be referring to the Bhagavad Gita as it is. And this book has been written in a very methodical way, right? and what you'll see that it lists the actual Sanskrit, right? The original verse in Sanskrit, and then there is it translated in the English so that phonetically we can sing or say it, right? So that's the second part. The third part is the synonym, then the word by word translation, so that and why it is required, right? There are many versions of Bhagavad-gita in the market. Somebody told me it's around 500 or so different versions. How do we know which version is authentic, which is not? Because what has happened over time, people will start reading Bhagavad-gita. Some of the version, it will say that because I say so, and the person who is attempting to translate it, they are putting their own version, right? They're not going in a methodical way to say that this is like word by word translation, what this means. So this book, why we refer this book, is that it goes word by word translation, right? It just proves that, okay, whatever is being translated is authentic the way it has to be understood. There is a translation in English, and then there is a purport which gives the further commentary. And in this commentary, you will see that there are a lot of other references from the, just not from the commentary from Prabhupada, but he brings a commentary from the other past teachers and bring it all together, proving that whatever he's saying, this is how it has been understood in the generation, in the past generation, for a long time. So it even goes to the some of the, you will be hearing some of these names for the first time, but like Ramanujacharya, Sankaracharya, these are the people who appeared thousand years ago, right? So it builds on all the teaching, right? So this is how, this is the book we'll be referring. This is how the book is organized. I'll take you to the online version also at the end, and I'll show it to you. You can start referring it. You can start reading it, right? So here I'll refer to, because this topic today was about the problem of life, right? What is the real problem of life? So one of the text, and you'll see the way the numbering has been done here is 2 means chapter 2, and 13, dot 13 means the text 13, right? And I'll take you to later and show it to you, okay? Text 13. And you'll see first is the Sanskrit, and then so I'll say it using English so that you can also slowly develop the taste. Dehino ismin itha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara तथा देहांतरा प्राप्तिर धीरस तत्र न muhati. So what is telling, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Now, as Suen was asking the question, how to show that we are not scared. Once we understand, right? So this is right now, at least we are understanding the theoretical knowledge that we are not the body, we are the soul. But then, as Bree was telling, as we start diving deeper and we are having the self-realization, we realize, yes, we are not indeed body, we are soul. And so, and living that way, nourishing. So now we were talking about what is the aim of life. Now we know we are a soul. So we have to take care of our soul. How to take care of the soul? We'll learn about it, right? So we have to take care of the soul. We have to nourish the soul. And then we slowly, then we won't be scared of the death because we know that the soul never dies, right? That is the other text we will refer, right? So this is one of the related texts from Bhagavad Gita, and you see that there's a picture which shows that how we are continuously changing. We are continuously changing. We as inside, we feel that we are the same person, and that is the one very good proof that still I think that I'm a child. I should jump from the 6-foot wall, but I shouldn't. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure I'll injure myself right now. Okay, so this is the other thing I wanted to show. This is okay, and don't get confused. There is a purpose why I wanted to show you. So you have heard the word Veda. Have you all heard the word Veda? So Veda is not one book. It is the compendium of book, many books. And what we are showing here is the division, right? The Vedic knowledge is divided into two parts, and you don't need to remember everything, but at least we are trying to show this is a big library. The book, the knowledge we are sharing here is from the very big library of books. It's not, and it has been compiled, put together, and being presented to you. Okay, so there is a book, Shruti, and what it says, these are the revealed knowledge, right? Just like the radio receives the transmitter and we can hear the sound. So these saints, they're able to focus their mind and they're able to receive the knowledge, right? So it is the revealed absolute knowledge. Smriti is the words of the sages. So the sages, as they got the revelation, they understood it, but then using those revelations they start making all the connections, and they are, as they're experiencing the higher realm, they are writing those books, right? So that's this part of it, right? So there are many books, right? That there are 4 different kind of Vedas. They are the different division of these. There's the division of Vedas, it's called Vedangas. There are different 6 division of this, right? There are books on rituals. You'll see that a lot of people, they do the rituals. So that is again the part of the Vedas. And there are tantras where people do the mystic thing. Oh, I'll I'll bring something. I can become very small. I can become very big. So that's the called tantras. There are books on how to practice the higher principle of life. Puranas, these are the very, very old historical references through their stories. It teaches through their story the purpose of life, how to live live a life, right? So you can see if the Bhagavad-gita is like a law book, the Puranas are like a law journal, right? So the case studies. So that's what the Puranas. So that's where we see how to apply those principles. And then there are 6 philosophical system. So there are 6 different kind of a philosophical system, right? So, and that's the reason when people start learning this subject, sometimes they become very confused, and they think, oh, they take one part of the book and they say, oh, this is what I know. But to understand the whole knowledge, we have to understand what is the essence of it. And that essence is brought up in Bhagavad Gita, because when the compiler, who was the Ved Vyas, he's the name of the compiler who did all this work. Um, he there was a humongous book, right? Bhagavad Gita is, compared to that, is a pretty small book, 700 text, and within those 700 text, it compiles the meaning of the complete Vedas. And we will take you to the reference which says that over time, not today everything, okay, over time, which tells that the purpose of the Vedas is to understand it this way, right? So Bhagavad Gita is that the book. That's the reason most of the people who are seeker, they start from Bhagavad Gita. And as they go deeper, there's more references, which we learn through that, right? So this is the whole Vedas, the understanding of the Vedas. I knowingly I didn't go into each of the word, because that is not the purpose. The purpose is to understand. This is what we are doing is studying. It is a pretty deep subject we are understanding. We are going over. We are going in chunks, right? So that it makes sense. And over time, it's a matter of time, you all will understand the purpose, the true purpose of life, how to act on it, how to be, and this not theoretically, practically live that life, right? So this is what I wanted to discuss today. I'll stop here. I'll just show you the. So any of you are interested, there's an online version of all these books available. Okay, so you can just see, it's called Veda Base. So Veda, Veda Base, BASE. So you can just look for Veda Base online, right? And it will come Veda Base online. And the URL is vedabase.io, and we will put it on in the chat also. So vedabase.io, I'm going to click on it. And you'll see it has a lot of books, all in digital form, free of cost, available, right, to you. Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, lot of other literature is here. Okay, so I'll be going to the Bhagavad-gita. So I go to the Bhagavad-gita, and then you can see all the different chapters are there, right? So through this, I can go and browse and read if I like. The other way is to quickly go and search for it. So let's say I want to go to the verse, the text, chapter 2, text 13. So I'm going to type BG, short form, 2.13. Okay, so BG, which is in short Bhagavad-gita, chapter 2.13, and I click on it, it will directly take me to that particular text. And I click on it, and this is exactly what we are reading, right? So you see the Sanskrit, the English phonetic way of reading it, synonym, translation, and the purport, right? So this is how this is arranged, and as you are learning, you can find these things. I'll take you my favorite, one of the favorite, 15.15, and you see here, I'll just read the meaning here. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. So just only I'll focus on one line. By all, so this is the part, by all the Vedas, I am to be the known. I am to be known. So this is so if you read all the Vedas, the purpose of the Vedas is to understand who Supreme is, who Krishna is, right? And so of course, right now I'm just giving you the outline. As we go deeper, deeper, and deeper, we'll will have more realization and more understanding. So with this, I'll take a pause. Any question on what we spoke? Yes, Jason. Yes, go ahead.
Who operates that website? What's the source of it? Do you know?
So you can see within there at the bottom, they have the organization name, because they say that if you want to contribute anything, so you can let me share and show you.
Yeah, I'm just watching on my phone, so I can't make out any of the fine print there.
Yeah. So you can just go to the vedabase.io, you'll see that there's a donate, and then here it says developer of online Vedas base, support the online. So I think yes, your contact, right? So you can find Telegram and see. So there's a group of volunteers. It's driven by the group of volunteers. They manage the server. They have taken all the books. They have gone translated it in a way so that it's available on the web form, right? So it's a team of volunteers who have been doing it for many years, a lot longer than before I started reading Bhagavad Gita here. So yes.
Thanks.
Any other question, thoughts? Brookel, did it make sense, Brookel?
Time of library and plus on to the next.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Sorry, Brookel, you got mute.
I'm back. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any questions so much as gratitude for the share. I'm sorry I wasn't more engaged in the dialogue and the conversation. I was just happy to be a witness tonight. I loved hearing the complexity that came to people's minds when discovering or discussing the purpose for life and what perceived challenges are, and how considering higher purposes for our human life as actually like a remembrance of our spirit soul is the most important thing, and how that comes through for different people in different ways, particularly in how connection to Krishna and the divine makes for that ease, in dealing with these difficulties, because it is quite a complex thing to be alive in this day and age. So yeah, I'm grateful for spaces like this where people are posing those questions and bringing forth different dialogue to really digest complex notions that have been shared in the Vedas and other traditional places for so long. It's beautiful to be in this community. So a time whenever I'm not, typically on Wednesdays, I'm teaching a yoga class right before this. So hopefully I'll have more time in between to kind of settle and integrate and really be a more active participant. But for now, for this being my first time, I was, just happy to sit back and witness a little bit. So thank y'all for sharing.
Of course. And never feel pressure. Like sometimes, even if you are busy and you are just be like a silent observer, listen, nobody is going to judge anybody, right? As long, see, we are all trying to like balance our life with so many things. So that itself is a big thing that we are able to come together, right? So yes, thank
It's
you
an
very much
open
for joining.
forum too.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate all perspective, which is what causes the conversation to be so interesting and extremely diverse. And so there's no pressure to knowing every single thing. I don't know every single thing. So
yeah, I appreciated the different perspectives, and whereas I generally like resonate with the underlying concept that there is this immense amount of human suffering that's created from just sensory enticement and forgetting the truth of oneself. I also, things like the intensity of saying things like the birth is like being connected to the mother and birth and all these things is pain, I didn't feel total resonance, and it was nice to hear Priya or someone speak out and us to be able to have that really fun exchange of just looking at the different notions that can make sense for some people. So yeah, I definitely feel that inclusivity and that openness, and I love being able to hold both, the closeness to Krishna and also the curiosities that our minds propose as well. So yeah, thank you both for that.
absolutely.
Thank you for a comment. That's very important. The liberty to inquire in our own way and still able to maintain our individuality, the thinking, the way we think is very important for our own spiritual growth. It's very, very important.
Yeah, and I believe the dialogue as well. I think a lot for me, I am in more, I actually spend a lot of solo time to myself, but when I don't, I am in more community spaces where people have a conditioned consciousness that's not really considering God or the divine or the higher purpose for life. It's just kind of meeting the basic like primitive needs and like amassing sensory delight and desire and all the things. So there is a lot of holding of the tongue of just, which is fine. Like I believe in, if I don't need to say something, don't say it. If it's not true, don't say it. If I don't know if it's true, etc. But I do think that humans learn and evolve and grow through dialogue and conversation and through bringing these different things up. So I appreciate being in this platform where I can perhaps become more comfortable with just friendly attempts of diverse understanding. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And nobody comes into this with the same thoughts at all. And so it'd be this is why, I encourage like talk, because it'd be very strange if everybody was just like, oh, came to the conclusion. What conversation would we have, right? So
yeah, definitely.
I'm going to try again seeing Alexander. Can you hear us?
Oh, and this is Alexander's actually my a close person to me in my life. I think he maybe has been to some of the kirtans and things. He is who traveled to like Vrindavan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I wasn't quite aware. Someone had mentioned this being more of a closed-ish container. So I was just like, hey, like here's a devotional group that you might be interested in. So if it's more ideal for him to have started with some other things, then I think
he's welcome. He's welcome.
Okay, means as long as he can follow, that's totally fine. And then if he feels the gap later, we will start the module 1 like it's in around mid-September. He can join that and come from the sequence, right? So yes, totally fine.
Yeah,
sure,
not a problem.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Oh, there he is.
Oh yeah. Thank you for having me. And yeah, I've just kind of been more of a silent observer too tonight. I've had a lot of things on my plate in terms of moving out and cleaning the apartment, and so things that haven't been able to wait recently. But it was still lovely to hear all this conversation while scrubbing floors and the such. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for enthusiasm to like while you're scrubbing your floor, still you're saying, hey, I would like to hear, right? At least I would like to hear. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah. All right. Bree, should we end the session for today? Anybody have
Yeah.
any question? Anything? Or we can resume next week. And before we resume, okay, so so this week we are having a special festival. If you are local, please come to Bhakti Studio. We are having a flower festival this Saturday. It will be a lot of fun. If you haven't registered, do register. I think we are already kind of at capacity, but we can accommodate always. You are always welcome. You are our all friends here. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I haven't even registered yet. I'll be there a little bit late because I
Yeah.
have a nephew's birthday party that I have
N-
to attend. Like around.
Nupur was telling me that you're so enthusiastic that you're trying to make it work. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, family, we have to focus on the family also. That's that's also the
Family
part of
first.
our connection, divinity, right? We have to see how the family members, we have been given a special family members for our own sake, right? The kind of people we need to interact so that we can learn from them, right? So we see the connection of divinity in everything, even within our family members. Okay, so yes, we should take care of them. All right, Angelina, nice to see you again. Thank you for participating. And Jason, ever a smiling friend. Apurv.
Thanks.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Have a good night.
See
Thank
you
you.
all.
Bye-bye.
Great to see you
Bye-bye.
all. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Hare